Nighttime vision coming out of Hong Kong, and it looks as magnificent as it feels, ladies and gentlemen, at the Regal Hotel's Cup of Nations Games 4. It is Hong Kong taking on Chile here at Kings Park Sports Ground on the Kowloon Peninsula. There's a little bit of breeze making its way across the ground this evening. Could add some skullduggery for the kickers. It does tend to come and go as lining up in the metaphorical tunnel, they call it. The team in red is Chile, the VIP area, once again the hub of all things great and good in the game in Hong Kong. And speaking of great and good, time to welcome co-commentator Daniel Musa in for this second game today. Musa, wonderful to have you back.
Evening, Jed. Great to be here, and as you say, one absolutely cracking Tuesday night here in Hong Kong at Kings Park. Looking forward to this.
Well, a few bodies starting to make their way in on the far side there as the workday comes to a close in Hong Kong. The rugby faithful make their way over. We get ready for a kick-off at around the top of the hour. And making their way onto the pitch now, it is Chile and Hong Kong, and some changes have been made to both sides as they make their way out there. Hong Kong playing in the dark blue strip, Chile in the red strip. A change from the gunmetal grey that we saw them in on the first game. There's lots of enthusiasm and action, and friends of players excited.
Why wouldn't you be? It's international rugby on a Tuesday night in Hong Kong.
That's quite right. Daniel Musa makes the obvious point. Time now for the anthems. It's the anthem of Chile. Well, plenty of feeling in that anthem for Chile as they hunt for their second win of the game. And now time for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China. rendition of the People's Republic of China's anthem. And Hong Kong with a few changes under the wing coming. Ali McClay, a long-time operator, and the Hong Kong colours, here they are as they line up. A change in the front row with Higgins, Robertson, Parfitt making their way in. Cunningham remains. Sullivan comes in to start, but Go off the bench on Friday makes his way into the starting 10. And it's a pretty good looking fast forward pack. Liam Sladen makes his way in at 9. Jack Neville starts at 10. Purvis, Spitz, Ramage and Jamie Hood playing at the unfamiliar position of fullback. Chile, on the other hand, pretty much have started off with exactly the same forward pack as they went out with against Kenya on Friday. A couple of small changes in the midfield and sees De La Fuente playing in 13. The reserve benches, well, without taking too much of a guess at it, we saw a good bit of action from Kadu Lee as he came on last week, but no UCAM machine for him to link up with this time. We'll have to see how this busy little halfback goes when he comes into the pitch of play. The referee today, Maxime Burlet, a referee, possibly from France, but no one's been talking to him. As we get ourselves ready, it's ready for a time on from referee Burlet, or Burlet I should say. Videla, the fly half with the ball. And we are underway, game 4 of the Regal Hotels 2017 Cup of Nations. And Sutherland, who takes it forward a few minutes. Sladen releases. Quick line defence from Chile. He's managing to keep Hong Kong locked down. Jack Neville's first kick was a bit of a worm burner. Chile now from the halfway. Not held Soto. We saw him causing all sorts of problems for Kenya. He's done the same again, and the heavy forwards come flying in. But off the feed of the breakdown, according to referee below and Daniel Musa, we are underway.
We are indeed, yeah. Like you said, Jed, an exciting selection from Hong Kong. I think having Slater and Neville at halfback shows their intention. They want to play a fast, expansive game, and I think they've recognised the threat of the Chilean front row in the scrums, bringing in Parfitt at tight head to beef up that front row a little bit.
Expert comments from Daniel Musa as Ben Roberts, the hooker for Hong Kong, flies it in. Sullivan does well again, and now they set up a nice, tidy-looking ball head with good strength from Chile as they keep them on the back foot. Hong Kong, if they got it controlled, it looks like it is. Roberts with the ball on the ground. Sladen, good to see him back in the national colours after a troublesome knee injury last year. Pretty much sidelined him for the season. Only made his return to club rugby a few weeks ago. And he's back on the good foot, Musa.
He is, yeah, and he's an exciting player. We saw it last week, 2 weeks ago against Scottish in the Premiership, getting himself back in. He liked to snipe, he's aggressive, and he's got very quick service to let Jack Neville on this Hong Kong line hopefully let rip.
Well, he's a great organiser, Liam Sladen. Very, very, very tidy player. Outstanding player in the Premiership. Lombele takes it at the back and they wheel it off again. They've shifted that well. Looking very tidy up front at the moment. Keeping that Chilean side guessing. Break out by Hong Kong. Sladen now looking for some working groups if we can find them. Cunningham there. Gets the ball away. Cunningham again over the ball. Lamming at 7. He feeds it. Parfitt leans in, and now they're in front of the sticks. Hong Kong continuity building well, just nudging Chile back step by step. Sladen, Neville, Spitz. How does he do it? Unbelievable scenes. Just bounces off them. 7, Matthew Lamming again into the action. Parfitt takes 2, takes 3. Ball is on the ground though. Slater moves. Neville, missed pass, second man play. Ball back on the inside. So, good, strong, tough defence by Chile, but Hong Kong have got the continuity coming out well.
Yeah, pretty patient there from Hong Kong. Set up 2 good drives, kept the ball in and worked the yards well, and looked happy to work through the phases, go to the big runners in the back row and the front row to punch them holes, but just looked to run out a bit of space there. Hong Kong out of ideas, and Chile read that inside ball well, and had the man Marcus around, which well and truly wrapped up.
But it'll be the wee hours in the night. They'll be tuning in from Santiago, but hello to our friends in Chile watching these live pictures from Hong Kong as the national team take on the home side in the Cup of Nations. Already a win under the belt for Chile, and current coming out of the first round. They were the table leaders 23-3. They took care of Kenya on Friday. Started the better of the two teams, certainly finished the better after a bit of a mid-quarter comeback or mid-game comeback from Kenya. They're able to just keep the pressure on, and this will be an interesting situation first up in these scrums, Musa.
Yeah, great shot there of Liam Slater all over his opposite man. He'll hassle him, he'll harry them all night, and the Chile in 9 will no doubt know that Liam Slater's on the pitch. But big first scrum here. Jack Parfitt's got a job to do here. We saw on Friday night with a Chilean loosehead, Claudio Zamorano. He's an effective scrummager. So Jack Parfitt will have to be at his best.
So short arm restart from Belay. There's just not enough proactivity from either side, really. And the advantage going to Chile. There's Santiago Videla. Sends the ball down to the halfway line out. Restart on the far side. 5.5 minutes into this game, and I guess if you do the maths after the result, Musa, this game's an absolute must-win for Hong Kong.
Yeah, 100%. They'll be disappointed to have lost that game to Russia. Would have targeted that game. They've been knocking the door of a win against Russia, and it was there to be had, losing, by 3 points at the end. So no doubt about it, Jed. It's a must-win, and it's a big performance required from Hong Kong here.
Sullivan does well from the throw by Roberts, and again Hong Kong drag a few. That was a beautifully diffused stuff, but through I think is at the headband of Matt Lamming. He's an absolute power man. He's a powerful man, and Neville Spitz manages to back himself out of a major collision. Slater looking for someone to come round, finds Parfitt. Parfitt possibly a little bit high there, taking him on the shoulder. But Bucco now, and Bucco turned and upended. They'll need to put 2 men on Kane Bucco. He's a hard man to turn over. A terrific defence from the Chilean team. Hong Kong just a little bit stuttery there.
Yeah, great defence from Chile. Kane Bucco, he's known for getting across the game line almost every time he carries the ball. So big statement there from Chile in defence, and a great counter-ruck. So Hong Kong started well. We just need to keep their start going. Try and build the phases again. But clearly we're going to have to be a bit more inventive and one-off runners there, because they're getting lined up by Chile and put back in the tackle.
Well, it'll be interesting. The Chile will be not quite used to the tempo that Hong Kong operate at. But they showed themselves to be more than capable of dealing with Kenya. One would expect they'll be able to come up and find the tempo and the pace that Hong Kong put on the ground. Hong Kong will need to work as hard as they possibly can as Soto drags it sideways off the back of the scrum, and midfield to set up. Perrotta, the halfback, right foot, picking it up as Jamie Hood, playing it fullback for Hong Kong today. Slatem. They go wider through Higgins. He shovels it on and Spitz tries the outside shoulder, and that's a nice shot, according to referee Belay. Tyler Spitz, well, it could be some sort of tactic to put the little man in the middle there.
Yeah, look, he's jiggy and he certainly he drinks around and he attracts a few players on. But what a much better start from Chile, Jed. You know, we saw that first half on Friday against Kenya. They started into action, a lot of knock on, and took kind of 40 minutes to find a way. But we seem to be much more settled and you know, working hard in defence and less panic this evening.
Roberts goes down the back, finds Lamberley. The ball spills out. And speaking of handling errors, we thought we'd never have to say those words again after Friday, but look at this from Chile. Awkward bounce, and taking it on the shoulder was Marcus Ramage, and they've rolled straight over the top of him. That's a great counter-ruck by Chile, and the ball is there. And now Perotta, he finds his first runners. They'll be itching to get the ball to a man like Soto if they can. Vidala, great tackle from Hong Kong, and they spread the ball, and Pico gets on the gas, and now they go wide, and Ali McClay from the Valley Rugby Club in Hong Kong lays the ball to ground as Liam Slatum almost gets turned into a man bag, and he's still got a handle on it. The ball is in there somewhere. In fact, it's the Chile ball, so it's a turnover for the visitors. Running themselves away from their support. Or perhaps the support not just doing enough to stay connected as Chile quietly resume the attack. Perotta comes round. Not bad ball for Perotta. Vidala, now they move it wide, and what a stunning tackle from Tyler Spitz. The referee, Belay, probably just like the Chilean fullback, was quite surprised by this. But there was a big collision, a big hit from Tyler Spitz. Yeah, he absolutely gave it to him.
Tyler Spitz here getting his revenge for that last tackle on him. Listen, this is clearly a test match. Both defences flying off the line, getting the hits in. Clearly any sort of ring rust on both sides was left out on the pitch on Friday, and we're go.
Let's check it out on the IM replay. It goes out there in his whiskey. And, well, it's a tough one. It is around, there is contact around the head. But it's a good body check with the chest by Tyler Spitz. And that'll be a wake up to the fullback. Don't come around here no more. Soto comes off the back of the line out. And they're in hot on attack at the moment, Chile. Out to number 4. Bursick. Still Perotta looks back. Vidala, 13. De La Fuente. Wide they go now. Vidala lays it back. They're within striking distance here. Chile rolling it over. Petrovic on the ball. Perotta. Counter ruck by Hong Kong. Smart play. Terrific stuff. But in the end, bad angle's the call. Penalty to Chile. Oh, some heavy action going in there close to the line, Musa.
Yeah, bodies flying in there. You'd expect Chile to kick the post here, but there's a bit of me thinks they might just have a crack at the Hong Kong scrum. You never know. And they have, Jed. I think they've called the scrum here for the penalty, 5 metres out. Sign of intent from the Chilean just early on.
Well,
Jack Parfitt must get low and tight here. He struggled the last 2 scrums against the height of a Chilean scrum. That front row is very squat, it gets very low, and it's powerful.
Crouch! Fine! Set!
There's the drop. Perotta with the ball. Well, I think the look of Jack Parfitt said it all when he spun around there. He didn't know what had happened. All he'd known that someone had given a penalty away and it wasn't him.
Yeah, but you do the classic front row thing. You just point at the other person before he points at you.
Yeah, never accept blame for anything.
On or off the pitch, that is, Jed.
So Hong Kong managed to breathe another day. It's Ben Roberts. Quite set.
Referee not quite happy there, was he?
Very, very difficult to find a happy one overthrown, and the door gets open again for this Chilean team. They don't want to do that too many times. As Dusalan drives it forward. Midfield set up now. Perrotta. Turnover. Lumbele. Well, the mercurial number 8 from Valley sneaks one back. And Jack Neville finally finds the laces on the boot. He wallops it down. Taken well by Velarde. Perrotta, that's touched. You could hear the clip. Great play by Ramage. Off the shin, and Slatem gives chase. He's after Enos Whiskey. Look at the speed of the fullback, and he plays it off down the far side of the pitch. Well picked up by Jamie Hood. The angles are cut off.
No.
Hood's right foot sends him down, and Enos Whiskey, he has to play it in the middle again. Now it's Videla up to halfway. His forwards are there. Good work staying with him. Javier Richard. Ball now. They're breaking away. Chile as the game opens up. Videla lays the ball down well. Bursic drives forward. They're back in attacking position again. Off they come. Soto, ball in the clear for Romano. Wide ball now, Chile. Oh, hunting though was Ellie McClay like a big shark. He was looking around for the opportunity to get in there and put the big bite on. And scrambling defence from Hong Kong has kept Chile out. Daniel Musa.
Yeah, talk about a Jekyll and Hyde performance compared to Friday night. Chile here have come to play by having a lot of success with their runners. Hong Kong are putting 2 or 3 guys in the tackle, but Chile have still managed to get past the first and get an offload and get behind Hong Kong, and it's causing them real problems in defence and bringing the Chileans a lot of joy.
Well, the Chilean fans on Facebook Live are absolutely thrilled with the way their team's got away at the moment. Why wouldn't you be? They've come a long way. Managed to put one under the belt. The reputation of this team was for a fairly big and grumpy and heavy hitting forward pack. And they've shown some nice finesse and some nice touches in the midfield.
Powerful players, aren't they, the front, the forwards, both in attack and defence. But Chile have been camped down here now for 5 or 10 minutes. They're looking to get some points soon.
Fine.
Comments from Daniel Musa.
Set.
Sladen with the ball. Hong Kong under pressure. Big scrum coming in. They wheel Hong Kong through. And it's a penalty. They managed to take 2 defensive penalties of Chile. So the Chileans will need to adapt if they hope to carry on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look 100% reliant on the scrum. We saw that against Kenya. They're really relying on their set piece to give them a platform. But the Hong Kong front row working hard there. Jack Parfitt seems to have a measure of his man, and he's getting that big right shoulder of his on the loose head's back and having some joy with it.
Lamberley takes it well. Sladen, midfield set up Neville. Great run by Sam Purvis. Unloads. Neville can't quite hold on to it as he looked to unload with a flick pass out the back. And an opportunity. They created something. Here's the iron replay. Shows Sam Purvis back on the angle. Good line it was from Purvis. Just coming across was Perrotta to get in there and mess things up for Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's a great ball from Jackie Neville. He shaped the pass wide, and last minute he just gave a nice short flat ball to Sam Purvis and really kept the Chilean defence guessing. Just unlucky with the offload at the end there, because it looked to be on.
So here he is, US Aussies Tigers senior player Sam Purvis from the sleepy countryside village of Brisbane.
Bris Vegas, is it not? The locals call it.
Boring, some would say.
Crouch.
Not me though. Wonderful place. Had family there for 30 years.
Yeah, I can't comment, mate. The good ladies from Brisbane, so I'll get a shot if I get home if I say any more about Brisbane.
Off the back they come now. This is Chile out of their own 22 through Soto. He's an outstanding player of this tournament so far, particularly for his team. And Perrotta onto the left foot. Forward comes Jamie Hood. He covers that well. Petrovic comes through, closes the door for Jamie Hood. Slater off to Cunningham. Cunningham thunders into the line, and that's some front foot ball for Hong Kong as Neville tries them out on the inside and turns and dances, and Jack the lad can't find a way, so he gets it back to his man again. It's Purvis up into the line. They come through and they commit the cruel act, and they take the penalty for it.
Chile a bit overzealous here to break down defence, but what a hit from Petrus. We saw him during the anthems. He was really pumped up with the cold spring, and Jamie Hood's just won that on the iron replay here.
As we look on the iron replay, Jamie Hood takes it beautifully coming forward, and Anton Petrovic, well, he give it to him.
And that's the bus was full there, wasn't it? But Hoodie, he's a tough competitor, Jamie Hood. He punches way above his weight, so he'll get up and dust himself off.
Yes, it is the voice of my side, Daniel Musa with me. The advantage goes to Chile. Almost 20 minutes gone in this game. 0-0 the scores. Hong Kong have been down for a good look at it. Chile have had a couple of good darts down into the scoring zone of Hong Kong. Neither side able to capitalise on their position.
It's been an arm wrestle. It's been a real arm wrestle so far. But I think that's credit to both teams putting all they've got into defence. As I say, both teams are flying off a line defence, and they're making the hits, and it's causing problems either side.
Set.
It's a better scrum from Chile, and it needs to be.
Soto off Slater pressures, but Perrotta gets it onto the left foot, and he sends it downrange, picked up by Ellie McClay. He releases Hood back to McClay. There's some instruction. Referee Belay. Skivvy on underneath his shirt. He's obviously feeling the cold.
Ali McClay looking a bit confused there, but he often does, so I'm not sure if it's a referee's call or just his generic face.
Yes, it's the... Well, we won't go into the technical aspects of it, but I think you're pretty much right. Chile now. Back in the right end of the field for them. Perrotta. De La Fuente. Big contact on him. Videla ball back on the inside.
Finish, Blue.
Slow though, and it's messy, but Perrotta gets it. Videla takes the line. Neville takes him. Purvis turns around to get on the ball. It's slow. Seconds count at the international level. Perrotta gets the ball off. And again he moves it. Velarde. Now Videla goes wide. Ian Zawiski. All lobbed in. Bursic, good hands there in the tight stuff. Now they come running at them again. Strong tackling by Bucco. Can't put down though. Dussalant, the hooker, he's pretty abrasive, isn't he? And now Chile just keep coming as they ram it up in front of the sticks and unload it, and Perrotta takes the ball. Now they got a bit of a roll on this Chilean side. Pick and going. Soto's there with the man. Working in twos now. Taking the short handle to Hong Kong. Right in front of their line. They've bashed them back without any mercy. And Chile keep the heat coming. Very powerful front forward pack play by Chile. Petrovic. He's repelled. Second player thrown to his back. Still they managed to turn it over. Lamming. He looks to close it off. Great work from Jack Parfitt in defence.
Needs to move off that ball though.
Still with the ball. They've denied them. Phase after phase. They must be double figures now, Chile, for sure. Bursic. He's there. They've created a margin, though, the Hong Kong side. Only a couple of metres, but it's enough. Lamberley trying to get an arm through. Slow it down. An arm, a foot, a leg. Lamberley, is he held up? Well, the ball went down early, lost forward as a call. A remarkable phase of defence from Hong Kong, Daniel Musa. That's what you've got to call Fort Knox.
Yeah, great defence. Listen, Craig Hammond, the defence coach, he kind of prides himself in defence, and there's no way he'd be happy with a team coming from the middle of Hong Kong there. Great tackles from Hong Kong, chopping low and driving them back, and just stayed relaxed, trusted each other in defence and worked hard. But Chile are camped down here again, and they'll be getting frustrated not getting any scores. But it's an impressive performance with Chilean forward pack. Big, powerful men, and they seem to be getting across the game line well.
Well, they've got some great players in there. Anton Petrovic, Soto, the hooker.
Thomas Duslan, who can breaking the line at will anytime he gets the ball. Really powerful.
So it's an incredible weapon up front that they have. The Hong Kong scrum hold the second shove. Lamberley tries to slide his way through the defence from Javier Richard, but he can't. Still, he gets some angle though. Slater. The Hong Kong Cricket Club player onto the right foot he goes. Hong Kong, they don't get a lot of room to breathe, but they get more than they had before, so that's something.
Yeah, look, Hong Kong will be happy with the reprieve, especially the forwards pack. You look, it's great defence from Hong Kong, but it's energy sapping the final that, getting up and tackling. It'll be taking out the Hong Kong boys, so they want to get the ball back and get back down that half in Chile.
So to the top, and it's dragged down, and Chile, they form up the maul head, and Hong Kong get a second bite of it, and they manage to disrupt beautifully. So terrific play, needing a bit of fire with fire. They need to show some mongrel up front, Hong Kong. If they don't, they'll get run all over.
Yeah, and look, credit to them, they are at a minute they're matching up, and as you say, fire with fire. Kane Bucco's done well there. He's got right in the middle of that maul, and he's somehow got a hand underneath it, and I think he's managed to dislodge that ball, so great effort from Kane Bucco there. But again, Hong Kong need Jackie Neville here just to send them way back down to the Chilean half. Have some respite and set up an attack.
26 minutes gone. Hundreds of people joining online to watch on Facebook Live. Thank you very much for tuning into these pitches live from Kowloon and Hong Kong. And the penalty, they've milked it well, Hong Kong, and again, they've outsmarted Chile. That's 3 times on the trot now. And both sides of the field, they've managed to draw those penalties out of Chile. Daniel Musa, and it's a concern for the visitors.
Yeah, Jack Parfitt must have been promised a happy meal after this match if he plays well, because he's having an absolute blinder and a tight head there. He's milked 3 penalties. And listen, what a great period of play for Hong Kong. Defended well, and they've worked themselves back up to the halfway line.
Throw from Roberts doesn't find its mark, and Chile pick it up. Soto fires it out now. Bursic carries the ball forward. Perrotta keeps the play going the same way, but the defence there is strong from Hong Kong. Fringe has been locked down, and in fact the referee notices a small lock on, and it'll be the loose head and feed to Hong Kong. Well, they're managing to pressure enough mistakes.
Yeah, they are. I wonder what we'll soon see a slight change in tactic from Chile. We saw on Friday night we're happy to kick the ball a lot more and play the corners and rely on the forward pack. We've had a real crack at Hong Kong here, carrying the ball, looking out wide, and they're not getting anywhere. So perhaps we'll see a bit of a reversion back to the territorial game from Chile as this game progresses.
Great shots from our camera team here. Good crowd building for a Tuesday evening in Hong Kong. cold weather warning was put out earlier today. Very brisk 19 degrees. There'll be a few people staying indoors. Unlike the UK though, when it gets changed here, when the weather gets cold, they don't shut the country down.
Well, that's true, yeah, we just crack on over in Hong Kong, don't we? We don't really struggle with the cold, but yeah, listen, it makes you laugh. A cold weather warning. The boys out there in the pitch will be delighted it's kind of 19 degrees because, believe me, it's a lot better than playing in 35 degrees.
So, scrum time. It'd be fair to say if a snowflake did fall, they'd call out the army. They'll be asking for a passport as well. Slater feeds the scrum. Hong Kong looking fairly solid up front. Second shove turned in on the inside, and it might have been Parfitt that led them round. Lamberley. Neville goes wide. Hood into the line and getting there to help out of the Hong Kong players. Lamberley takes Petruich on and sees him off and Slater. Now he releases Roberts. Neville. Purvis goes wide. It's a bounce pass out towards Kane Bako, and Kane making the right decision to lay off that and let his teammate take the ball, but Hong Kong hurting themselves here at the moment. Sloppy plays. Slater gets it back and Neville finds his range down the far side touchline. Got to be frustrating stuff, Daniel Musa.
Yeah, it's a bit of a case of Hong Kong, isn't it? It's 2 step forwards, 1 step back at the minute. They do some great things. They get in position, defend well, get back to halfway, and a sloppy mistake, and all of a sudden they're under pressure again. And well, that's how Chile will stay in this game, just living off the Hong Kong scraps and having a crack on turnover.
Well, it looks like a short injury time for number 10 for Chile. Is it? It could be one of the midfielders. Coming up the final 10 minutes of this half, and he's put some hard yards in. Been impressed with Kyle Sullivan and his opportunities that he's taken.
Yeah, he's worked hard, isn't he, around the pitch and at set piece too. And look, you'll go on notice by a minute, but Jack Parfitt's having an absolute blinder in a tight head here. He's got that Chilean scrum and all sorts of bother. So, you know, we don't give tight head props man of the match, but he's certainly put his hand up for it so far.
So, a reminder, this is time is blown off in the game. The game 5 kick off at 2 p.m. at the Hong Kong Football Club on the 18th. It's this Saturday. Tickets are available via Ticket Tech if you're local and you want to come and join us. We'd love to see you down the track in Happy Valley on Saturdays. Parada now is taken well off the top by Chile, and into midfield goes Soto. And the ball comes out from Mayol. He's taken down Parada. Fidela, wide ball. And Del Fuente, and it's ripped away by number 3, Munita. On to the 22. Hong Kong 22. We've seen a lot of it so far this game. Can Chile get themselves across this time? Not with hands like that. And those little errors that we saw 40 horrible minutes of on Friday, maybe they haven't gone away, Musa.
Yeah, the odd mistake popping in there. Chile need to try and create something here, I think, Jed. We're just seeing them go side to side and looking basically sending big runners up front over centres to punch a hole, one-off runners, and it's not really working for them at the minute because Hong Kong defence are staying square and they're getting the hits and not missing any tackles. So, look, for all we endeavour from Chile, we need to find a spark of creativity out there.
Well, Daniel Musa, sparks of creativity will echo around the rugby world as people scratch their heads to think about what they've just heard. But it's true. And I think that's probably the thing that shakes most of us as hydration is taken on by both teams. You're right. We know that Fidela does have some nice touches though.
Yeah, he does, but if you look at the minute now, you know, Chile are playing very much between the 2 15 lines, with 2 15-yard lines either side. They'll go as far as 12 13, they'll look to crash it up, come back, and if you're well sort of structured defence as Hong Kong are, it's easy to defend. You just don't commit to the rucks. You leave men on the feet, and you mark up one off, and you make your tackles. So they need a few dummy runners. They need a few shields. Send the ball behind the back of the runners. Just do something to try and hold some of the Hong Kong defence and tie a few guys in and look for some holes.
Keep going bind. Keep going bind.
Because at the minute, I think Hong Kong will be happy to defend like this all day.
I want you.
Well, they have defended like it for the last half hour, basically. We've seen a couple of short forays down into the Chilean half of the paddock, but it's been mostly about the visitors. They've dominated the middle section of the ground.
Set.
Hong Kong once again defensively feed the scrum. And this big shove comes in from Chile, but they muscle it, Hong Kong, and now they feed them a little bit. Now they march them off a little bit. Now they take the penalty off them a lot. And that's terrific scrummaging by Hong Kong.
Yeah, another great scrum from Hong Kong. You know, a lot of experience in that front row with Jack Parfitt, now a 50 capper in the Premiership, and Benny Roberts. He's played a lot of rugby in the UK at hooker, and he's a scrummaging hooker. So if we're enjoying the fruits of that, and obviously big engine house with Cunningham and Sullivan working hard in there, and it's paying dividends from Hong Kong.
It would be an expert blow by Hong Kong in the closing minutes of the first half to sweep downfield and score. Oh, I don't want to put the mockers on them as they come off the middle, and there's Neville feeds the ball onto Spitz. He stays alive. He's slayed him down. Hood drives in at first receiver. Slayed him. Finds Higgins. Higgins to ground. Static ball though, and Parfitt lays it out the back. Not what Hong Kong really wanted to go for, but fast tackle line speed from Chile, shutting down the time and options. Marcus Rummage gets up there and scratches his head. Good desperation, good pressure defence by Chile, Daniel Musa.
Yeah, it was, and Chile are staying in this game, like you say, by scrapping away and competing hard. But I think for Hong Kong now, look, they had options there. They had a nice set. You know, the back line was looking good in position, a lot of depth there. But someone from Hong Kong now needs to take this game by the horns and do something. So it'd be a big carry from Matt Lamrin or Kane Boko. We need something here just to spark them and get them going forward and get them beyond that Chilean gain line.
Well, shades of Mel Gibson and Braveheart from Daniel Musa there. Stirring stuff indeed as he wheels on the home nation. Wheel, it comes off Soto, finds Perota, and Perota gets it out to De La Fuente. Set it up on the Hong Kong 10. They're eager to take the width if it's on offer. It is on offer to them and they take it. Here he is again, Soto. An outstanding rugby player he's been, or is. Perota skiffles along in front of the fringe defence. Now Anton Petrovic thunders himself in there. Perota short side ball. They're keeping the targets nice and close. Little turnover mistake. Hong Kong can pat themselves in the back for creating that pressure. I understand the idea of keeping the targets short. I wonder if that would work against them, Daniel Musa.
It's a very good question, Jed. Again, Hong Kong look like you say happy there to stoke up in defence. It's fairly easy to defend again. Chile are persisting with his pick and go, trying to get through the middle, and they're having limited success.
So in the middle of your screen there, number 7, Anton Petrovic. He's been outstanding. So is the young man with the hands on thighs there. It's not great technique. It should be down on his knees. Better triangle just to support the upper body properly and keep the lungs open. It's obviously a Craig Hammond trained individual.
Yeah, he's not gone for the bend over, hands on knees like you're bending over your kebab on a Saturday night. That was always my favourite.
So often if you're going to do these recovery positions correctly, do them correctly.
Something you should practice during the week, definitely.
Something I practice on a morning basis.
Part of your daily routine.
Got a very big bed. It takes a long time to get there.
Hold.
Liam slayed him down. There's a penalty there for Hong Kong. The pressure couldn't be kept up, and now Belay, he's looks like he's itching to get his hand in his pocket again. This would be a shame if he did.
It would be, but listen, Hong Kong have milked 4 or 5 penalties here in the last, the last few scrums. So how long to keep it going? Zamorano's clearly having a tough time against Parfit, and he's struggling to hold him up. So you can't blame the ref. It looks like it's going to be a last warning for Zamorano anymore, and he'll be having 10 minutes in the bin to practice his recovery positions.
Well, he's going to go to the bin, and away he goes. It's a yellow card for Chile. They go down to 14 with 4 minutes left, and that could be just the toe in the door that Hong Kong are after. This could be exactly what they're after, and the touch finder down the far side of the track swings Hong Kong into hot attack. Daniel Musa, 4 minutes to go here. What would you like to see?
Yeah, listen, we're a man down in the park. I think Hong Kong might take him for a walk here. We'll get the ball up, get them all, and see what success they can get. Use that man advantage.
So the ball taken by Lamberley, and they do exactly as the expert comments of Daniel Musa suggested. They tuck it up, they walk it off down the park. It's now in the arms of Lamming. Lamming looks ahead, it'll transfer shortly. Lamming stays with it, he dives with it on the ground. Sladen looking for the option, it's a pick up. It's not there, it's another penalty for Hong Kong. Do they take the 3 and win the half? Do they take the 5 and break their hearts?
I think the Hong Kong forwards have got the win the sales here. I think if I was, I'd definitely go for the corner, but I might even consider a scrum here because the Chilean scrum's under pressure. The referee's on them, and they have indeed called the scrum there. Jack Parfit will be licking his lips.
Well, the irony of it all could be Hong Kong giving away a scrum while hard on attack. It's a crazy mixed up world,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
Let's hope not. Often, unfortunately, we do sometimes see the referees going tit for tat at scrum time on the penalty. So let's see what happens here. But look, the Chilean scrum's under pressure, no doubt about it.
The 2017 Regal Hotels Cup of Nations. This is game 4. It's an absolute must win for Hong Kong as the IM replay shows bodies flopping in from all directions. That's where the penalty was. As we look, there's a lot of cheering happening for Chile on the Facebook live feed at the moment, so it should be. All up to our rugby fans and friends in Chile.
Benjamin Soto very not happy about making way for his substitute prop. He'll be frustrated with that.
Sladen feeds. Here's the heave. They hold strongly. Now they edge them back. Now that's looking good for Hong Kong. And it goes. Through they go. The ball is there. Sladen breaks. Sladen dances. He finds Spitz. Spitz turns and burns. Now if they can move it wide, Lamming over the ball. He takes a look at it.
Red release!
In fact, it wasn't Matt Lamming. It might have been Kane Bako. Now they back it off. Get set to flex again. Hong Kong for the middle of the sticks. Hong Kong, and in they go!
Jack Parker out the back door.
Drive one in through Matt Lamming. They had the advantage and they had to make it work.
Yeah, indeed, Jed. Listen, great try from Hong Kong. Well worked. They've weathered a storm from Chile. They've stuck to task. They've worked hard in defence. They've not panicked. Listen, they've got back in that Chilean half and they've made it count and got away with a great try before half time.
Well, the Hong Kong number 7, Matt Lamming scores a great try. There he is, restaurateur as well as professional rugby player. He's told me that 3 Blind Mice are going to start doing a fry up in the morning, but
I'd like that. We currently do a great arancini ball, must be said.
well, that doesn't sound like a fry up to me.
My watch is your time.
The risotto balls are fried, so there's some element of frying in that.
Jack Neville now from Kowloon. He knows these sticks. He knows this carpet. Jack Neville for 2. Jack Neville takes 2. Matt Lamming's tries converted at 7 points to 0 at the half. A score for Hong Kong just when they needed it, just when they wanted it to that man, Matt Lamming. And Hong Kong, as we watch, slayed him, dances, holds the defence. Well, he was only half an arm off going in himself, Spitz. They take one rated it round the corner here. That was actually James Cunningham, the Kowloon heavy. Now it comes back. Look at Sladen clapping and whistling and wanting it. It is actually Jack Parfitt turns into provider, shifts it away. Lamberley drives over Lamming. It's the Hong Kong forwards working in unison on the IM replay. A great score as Hong Kong take the half. The VIPs look suitably impressed. And it's Hong Kong leading 7-0 over Chile at half-time. Daniel Musa, thoughts and comments?
Yeah, listen, a good half of rugby. Chile coming away frustrated, having been camped in that Hong Kong half for half an hour, but as we said, getting no joy and playing a very narrow game, which is very easy to defend. And credit to Hong Kong, they've worked hard in defence. They stuck to task. They just worn away in defence, and they get back in that Chilean half, and they get a great score. And listen, it was nice to see a forwards try there, because the forwards pack's been leading the way for Hong Kong, both in attack and defence.
Well, gee, they've had to put up with some pressure though, haven't they? This Chilean side have entertained the people here tonight by showing both a mix of, I guess, a little bit of excitement and enterprise, but when they tuck it up and they go up the middle, my word, they're a powerful unit. Yeah, and
they're a very belligerent team. They don't know when they're beaten. They'll come out, they'll come out again at half-time, and I expect the same. They'll get their hands on the ball. We'll see Dutzeland, we'll see the big second rows, Petrovic hammering away, and they'll keep going until they get success, Chile.
Well, lots of activity around the sidelines, lots of smiling faces here in Hong Kong. Chile go out the back to the second paddock just to get a bit of a rest and a bit of quiet time as the Tuesday evening crowd who have made their way over from work. And there's the one and only Martin Kibble, manager of the Hong Kong Sevens national side. There's Javon Groves in the blue and Paul Johns, the head coach of the Sevens. That is the Sevens Holy Trinity right there. And in the middle of your shot, the chairman of the board of directors, Peter Schatz, just explaining the finesse points of drinking a pint of Guinness and explaining the taste profile as such.
Yeah, Mr. Kibble there definitely trying to get some pointers in his Welsh accent, I think. Surrounded by the Welshmen there.
Well, once again, Martin Kibble won't be listening. The Chilean side, as we've alluded to, well, they don't mind going the tough stuff if they have to. They're quite happy to bump and grind the team, but Hong Kong have proven not to be any pushovers. Where do Chile go now?
Yeah, as I said, Chile I think need to adapt. I wouldn't be surprised if we revert back to the territorial game we saw against Kenya on Friday night. They'll just plough the corners and they'll try and stifle Hong Kong defence, get turnovers and use their forwards. I think it's crucial now from Hong Kong after scoring that try. They need to come out and have their sense right from the off. They can't allow to let Chile have 20 minutes, half an hour again and score late. Hong Kong need to come out at half time, get the ball in the hand and dictate the game now early doors and try and build some scores.
Well, they have some very, very, very slick backs, Hong Kong. Well, they haven't had very good quality of ball, and it might be a tactic just to convince Chile to keep rushing, keep driving, keep blitzing that first receiver. You really want to be able to see guys like Jack Neville strut their stuff.
Yeah, you would like to, but as you say, Chile are working hard. They're really flying up on the outside, and they're blocking off the outside channel, outside Jack and Neville. We're happy to sit inside, and they'll pick their inside runners off, but a lot of pressure on Jack Neville. So again, Hong Kong need to adapt. Maybe send some outside dummy runners off Jack, put some players through the back, and try and open some holes. Because, like you say, there's a lot of talent in that Hong Kong back line. They've got a platform from the forwards, so let's see them play.
Well, the action will continue in a few minutes as half-time is taken in. It's like in here, it's pastries being sold behind me, left, right and centre at the moment. So
shame there's none coming to the commentary box, quite frankly.
Once again, it's a tough old job, sitting in a confined space for a long period of time. But you do what you can for the game. It's the game we love. Coming up this Saturday, round number 3, games 5 and 6, featuring Hong Kong playing Kenya and Russia playing Chile. And the outcome of this particular game, game number 4, will read absolute volumes for Hong Kong. Not only do they need a win, but they need a good win, clear of plenty of points, to get themselves up the log. If they're going to stay in touch with Russia, then they have to hope that Russia, well, will they see Chile as a banana skin? Daniel Musa.
Yeah, so I think Chile are a dangerous team, and certainly a banana skin for many teams. They're one of those teams you can't underestimate. As you say, they're belligerent, they batter away, and they'll never give up. But like you say, Hong Kong has got to score tries, and they've got to come out now second half. They must play. They must get the essential doors, look after the pill, build some phases, and play rugby to get these tries, because they cannot afford to give the Chileans the ball for half an hour and get another try late on.
Well, plenty of fans have turned up on the Tuesday night. It's pleasing to see. Lovely conditions out to come and enjoy some international rugby. Good to see some smiling faces. Big movement in the tertiary crowd for rugby here, and there's a little bit of action happening on the big screen as well that'll keep everyone fairly happy. As here we go now, the zero and catches on. Tremendous to see. So yeah, waving to the hundreds of thousands of Chinese fans of rugby here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, great to see. I think there's perhaps a misconception outside of Hong Kong, but you know, the Hong Kong rugby is just a load of expats playing rugby in Hong Kong, but it's very much not that. It's a huge rugby community led by the locals. There's a huge number of rugby clubs, initiatives going around Hong Kong, and the game spread far and wide in Hong Kong.
The business sect. And these are the men that are stealing all my pastries, or actually buying them perhaps, as we get ready to take in the highlights package from the first half, courtesy of the IM replay. And first of all, let's check out opening contact. And Del Fuente, look at this from Tyler Spitz, as he absolutely levelled the incoming fullback Ian Nzwiski. There's a penalty there. Then Chile through. Even though they tried and tried and tried again, they just weren't able to find a way through this stoic, stingy Hong Kong defence. They were tossing bodies in left, right and centre. Hong Kong just managing to create little errors, and then finally the scoring play of the half is Hong Kong, Chile down to 14. Keep an eye on number 7 there. He backs off. Number 3's Parfit goes in, takes the ball, and they run a quick wee switch as they suck in the inside defenders. Lamming with Lamberley on his hip, drive through, and Hong Kong score the opening try of the game, courtesy of Matt Lamming under the sticks. Converted by Jack Neville. The half-time score, Hong Kong leading Chile 7-0 on the Regal Hotels Cup of Nations. So the ball boys and girls look ready. They are. They're lining up around the block for a taste of the crispy pastry beginnings of either a sausage roll or a beef pie. I might sound like I'm lamenting it a little bit. That's because I haven't eaten for hours.
Wishing away to an elephant there, Jed. Oh, yeah.
So, beautiful to see. There's the triumvirate, Andrew Hall, Coach Lee Jones, and Andrew Kelly. Make their way back to the coaching positions as Hong Kong return to the field of play. And the upcoming 40 minutes, Daniel Musa, thoughts and comments as we get ready to close off game number 4.
Yeah, listen, I think we'll see Chile come out firing again here. They want to get the the game between the bit and have a real crack at Hong Kong again. We want to not muck around and get stuck into this. Hong Kong need to build now. We finished that first half very strongly. We need to get their hands on the ball, keep it, and start building scores. And if Hong Kong become this really good, this team that qualifies for the World Cup, we need to show it now and put Chile to the sword.
Well, they're tuning in again at the beginning of the half. Welcome to Richard Chambers. His presence online now makes this a totally different broadcast.
Good evening, Mr. Chambers.
In the picture now, Jamie Hood. Already trying to come up with some sort of plan, Jamie Hood. If there's one bloke who'll be looking to steal a few yards off you, that is this man, Jamie Hood. There they are, waiting to receive. There looks like there is a bit of space right there if they poke it through towards De La Fuente. That's right, he gets things underway in a orthodox fashion, and so Hong Kong shut Chile down through Richard. Charge down. Ball flies away. They try to offload it. Now it comes back to Hong Kong. Here's a try scorer, Lamming. He unloads to McClay. McClay takes 3 of them to the ground. Slatum. What have they got lined up for him? Jack Neville. Will they force it wide? Bacot forced to come back inside. Good, strong blitz defence by Chile, and they've pushed Hong Kong back to the 10-metre line. That's how well they've been defending this Chilean team. They're not sitting back and letting them come. Roberts into contact. Slatum. He finds Higgins. And Higgins goes to the knees, the hands and knees, knees and toes, and draws a penalty.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there. Ben Higgins just went on his own there, but to be honest, he had no real option, and the support players should have reacted a bit faster to secure that ball. But listen, it's good to see Hong Kong showing them endeavour straight for the kickoff. We said they've got to come out and get the ball and play, and they're looking to do that. So positive start from Hong Kong in the first minutes here of the second half, but it's important to get back down there and play again rather than let Chile feel their way back into the second half and get in the rumble again.
Comments from Daniel Musa, co-commentator. Line out throw.
How many players left?
For Chile, that looks like you've made it. Well, they're still down to 14. The one in the bin at the moment. Ball goes long, it's secured. They unload. Parada now. Parada takes on. Okay, now they break it back on the inside. Lastra, number 17. And
yeah, unlucky there from Chile. Almost too many options for the prop there. The man outside and now the man inside and couldn't quite decide. But unlucky that inside pass didn't stick. It was a good angle and it could have easily led to a try there. But Chile, once again, just really being hampered by handling errors.
I have to go to my assistant.
On the IM replay, let's have a look. Lastra. Oh, he just about found some hands, and that could have been a very, very, very interesting start to the second half. Hong Kong could have found themselves back to even Stevens. And do get the sensation, if the tails go up with Chile, all of a sudden there's 17 men on the paddock.
Yeah, Chile need to make the most of those opportunities because they're hammering away. They're not getting much joy, but and when they do get the odd opportunity like that one, they've got to take it because they may only get 2 or 3 opportunities in the second half. So that swung down. We need to definitely score the next if we get another opportunity.
Leave the player and then
So
goes to the yellow card again to number 3.
Hong Kong lose Jack Parfitt to a yellow card, and now they're down to 14 each. And well, if they lost an opportunity, they just gained another one, because very shortly they'll be back to 15. And a penalty given, so there was obviously a bit of a process going down there between the referees and the assistant refs, as Ian Iswiski sets up his shot on goal for the penalty.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that was for, but perhaps having off a ball or at the breakdown there. But as you say, it gives Chile a real break, especially at the scrum time. They can have a bit of reprieve, try and get some Ascensi back and give him a bit more confidence in the set piece in the second half, as we see with Dylan Rogers from Cricket Club getting warmed up to come on at the next scrum for Hong Kong. But look, Dylan Rogers, another great scrimmager, so I think he'll come on and just carry on where Jack Parfitt's left off.
So Thomas, Whiskey. The kick on goal is good. Well, that's a pressure kick, and he's delivered for his team. Ian is Whiskey. 7 points to 3. Chile need now trail Hong Kong in the 43rd minute. And the score before the half, the score after the half, so important. You hear it time and time again. It's the adage in rugby union, when the game is close like this, that score can be all important. 7-3, Hong Kong lead by 4. Hong Kong, though, if they had a bit of luck, they have. Lost forward is the call, and they'll take the loose head and feed and the advantage. And how important was that, Daniel Musa?
Yeah, great pressure from Hong Kong on the kick-off there, and crucial to win that ball back. If it can get try here while we're down to 11 men, sorry, not 11 men, it's the wrong sport, down to 14 men, that'll give them a real psychological edge, and Chile will be doubting themselves. So, crucial turn from Hong Kong.
So, substitutions being made, and out is number 18, the Bilton chief himself, Dylan Rogers.
Puro Kim Boko, Jack Parfitt owes him a refreshment for that, certainly.
Well, probably not a bad idea for Kane Bako to get some air through the lungs, because he's a player that can deliver a lot over 80 minutes, there's no doubt about it. And Dylan Rogers isn't short of mobility either, so they'll need a good scrumming head out there at the moment to take care of this. Rogers fits the bill.
He does. He's a big, powerful man, full of experience and confidence. And as I say, I think he'll just carry on where Jack Parfitt's left off.
Just about set your dinner up on that. So they nudge it for, that's a good 14, good 7-man push. Slater flicks it, Neville shows it, goes it, takes the line on, almost gets through. Slater again, flies it wide, good effort by Spitz, turns away from the tackle. Now they keep it going. Sullivan turned his back on the ball, and the referee brings them back for the breakdown. And it'll be an opportunity, Hong Kong, just to slow things down. They're 14 on 14. Maybe they should go for the 5. Oh, you hit 16 at the casino. What do you do, Musa?
You go 16 again, don't you, Jed?
As the IM replay shows, just the final part of that play breaking down. And I think they may have erred on the side of caution. Hong Kong, 5 minutes into the half. Made this yellow card potentially worth 10 points if it goes over from Jack Neville.
Yeah, look, it makes perfect sense. It's good from Hong Kong. It puts them 10-3 up and keeps that scoreboard ticking over. It's important now, Hong Kong, when they come into the Chilean half. It's the old adage of collecting points and coming away out that half every time with more points on the scoreboard. So if they're doing that in the building, and if they can come up with a net game while Jack Parfitt's in the sunbin, it's definitely a good thing, isn't it?
So, John Neville, aka Jack Neville,
aka Nevs.
Kowloon approaches from out wide. His kick looks good. It's very good. Jack Neville nails a pressure penalty. That's what you want your kickers to do. And Hong Kong turn the Chilean yellow card into a 10-point run. They go back to a 7-point lead. A terrific kick. What a kick from the boot of Jack Neville.
Yeah, it's been a good positive start from Hong Kong in the second half. 6 minutes in, they've come in. Look, unfortunately, we've lost Jack Parfitt to the sin bin, but we've done well. They've kept their hands on the ball. You know, we've got down to the Chilean half and got points.
So down to Cunningham. He takes the ball to ground. Hong Kong, the big ball right through the legs of Jack Neville. Not ideal. So a messy restart for Hong Kong. Coach killer.
Yeah, it is an absolute coach killer. Hong Kong need cool heads there. You've gone into their Chilean half, you scored points. You just want to come back, gather your kick off and play rugby. It's been a bit of a problem for Hong Kong there in recent games. They've been scoring tries, scoring conversions and penalties, and they're coming back, and the first thing they do is have an error and potentially hand an easy possession back to Chile. So they need to tighten up the restarts there. It's the kind of thing that Chile will turn over and score off, and it'll be a different game.
So Chile down attacking. 7-man scrum for Hong Kong, and they hold, and still they hold, and look at Chile trying to put the knuckle on them, and Hong Kong hold, and Lamberley, he decides to break blind. Thomas Lamberley, the Chilean player's got himself in a bad position, but eventually the ball goes to touch. And Matt Rodden indicates that it's a Chilean throw to the line out.
Yeah, Hong Kong doing themselves no favours there. Lambley's done well for bat, but he's run straight away from his support and put himself in trouble.
Ball taken down well by Chile.
No, number 8 blue! 8 blue, stop!
Rustle it towards the back. Still they drive on, Chile. Oh, look at this forward work. Absolute grunt. Hong Kong respond. Chile break away with it again, but on truck and trailers the call from referee Boulay. And Hong Kong very, very lucky to slip off the hook there.
Here we are again, and Chile just can't seem to cut a break tonight, can they? Every time they build an attack, it's a drop ball, and then it's a bit undisciplined and truck and trailer. But credit to Chile, we're not giving up, and they're knocking away in this line. We seem determined to get some points this time.
The dial in from the LBC 04387. Word up. Hello to our friends in Wellington, New Zealand. Tuned in to this international rugby live from Kowloon in Hong Kong. It's the 2017 Cup of Nations. Brought to you by Regal Hotels in Hong Kong. Feed it, and still they maintain some order with the 7-man shove. This is pretty impressive stuff, and they take the penalty off them again. And well, you've got to take your hat off to Hong Kong here in the tight stuff. Ian Roberts, we know that he plays almost week in, week out with a dinged up shoulder. And they are dominating Chile in the scrum.
Yeah, great work from Hong Kong. Listen, they've worked hard in that scrum, held the ball and milked the penalty. But Chile are in real danger here at scrum time of another yellow card and potentially a red or more men to Simbin. It's a difficult thing for Chile because they have to shore that scrum up, but they're struggling to do so.
50 minutes gone in this test match. Game number 4 of the Cup of Nations. Down the back it goes. Sutherland climbs high and they take it down. Lamming, ball in hand. He slayed him. Look, almost surprised to see the thing. Cunningham gets it off to Rogers. Rogers gets the shoulder forward. Now Hood. Short ball. Roberts slayed him. Sullivan, good work from the tight forward. Sladen comes back. He finds Cunningham off his feet quickly, but keeps the ball coming back. It's presented well. Neville, show on the inside. Purvis takes on a couple of their big hitters. Petrowitz is one of them. Still they run it the same way through Sladen and Neville. The hand in there from the big prop. Ramrano. Loose ball, Hong Kong swooping on it. Counteract by Hong Kong. Breakout by Chile. Seesaw type battle, and now the ball. Sent off down range, but It must feel good to have the safe hands of Jamie Hood at the back. Ball bounces awkwardly. Anton Petrovic. Now he gets it. He unloads it to Vivaldi. And a knock forward is the final call. Well, that was a sequence of play. I think there's a few guys out there looking to catch their breath, Booser.
There will be. It was a sequence of play, but
Hong
Hong Kong to an extent to shooting himself in the foot there. You know, there's no doubt that Jackie Nev's a fantastic player, possesses an abundance of skills, but just forcing an offload there, he didn't have to force. And Lee Jones, the Hong Kong coach, will be pulling his hair out of that because, you know, it's a great set of play. If you can just set that up and build off that, but too many unforced errors from Hong Kong, and we said at half time. They have to come out this half and play and build scores, and they're killing themselves at the moment. And it's giving Chile the opportunity to stay in the game.
After, next.
Chile are living off of scraps here, and they're doing it pretty well.
Well, good strong audience climbing into this. Wherever you're watching in the world, thank you for joining us. Cup of Nations for 2017, brought to you by Regal Hotels. Liam Sladen from the Hong Kong Football Club, ball in hand.
Okay.
A reminder that you can still buy tickets for this Saturday on the 18th from Ticket Flat online in Hong Kong.
Stay straight. Good for you.
Chile look to shoulder scrum up here. They've moved the tight head across to the loose head, taking Zamorano off because he struggled tonight, and brought the big tight head replacement on number 17, Vittorio Lastra. Let's see if this can make any difference to the Chilean scrum, because they're in desperate need of it right now.
Well, I've got to be asking the questions about where they can come back to even Stevens.
Step.
Hong Kong scrum has been boxing pretty smart tonight. Lumberley, Sladen, Hood. Doesn't use spits outside him. Over the top of it. Cunningham backs off. Rogers takes the ball. The Biltong Chief slams it forward. Hold is the call. And Neville happy to sit back in the pocket in his right foot. He knows the carpet here so well. Terrific work from Sam Purvis. Really was gutsy work by Sam Purvis. He's thrown the body in the
Great from Sam Purvis, and look, you expect nothing less from Sam. He may be a bit of a fly boy for hairdo, but he's a hard-nosed centre, and he's a tough competitor, and he has 100% stuck the body on the line there, and wants the possession back for Hong Kong.
10 points to 3. It's Hong Kong leading Chile.
Okay.
As Kadu Lee, number 21, checks into the game for Liam Sladen. Taken well. He's throwing well tonight. There's Ben Roberts. James Cunningham finds some bodies to crash into. I think he loves it. Lee. Ball behind Lamberley. Lamberley keeps it. Now Rogers. He tucks it up and has a go. Lee comes out to Barlow. Keeps it rolling. Neville left behind by Matt Lamming. Offside is the call. Tap and go. Neville. They lost it behind, and now the ball struck down the field. Lost forward is the call eventually. And maybe that might be the Hong Kong key. Drop the gears down, change the tempo.
Yeah, look, they've bought Kadolu on, and obviously we saw him the other night. He'll definitely change the tempo, but once again, look, it's great endeavour. Hong Kong tap and go, try and get the Chileans in the bounce and defence and make some great yards there, but it's a last pass for Hong Kong. It's not sticking. It's being a little bit forced. Some of the rounds are a little bit flat, and as I say, it's really costing Hong Kong at the minute. They just need to hold their depth, be a bit patient. If the offload's not on, don't throw it.
So defensive scrum time now for Chile. Both fronts rows drop down. So Barlow in for Higgins. Rogers in for Parfitt. Change
Red
now
number 9,
for number 9, Red. Barotta is into the match. Checks.
Hey, Bino.
Number 21, Domingo.
What are you?
Domingo Saavedra. Replacement scrum half for Chile.
Saavedra. Soto off the back. De La Fuente. Soto back between the legs. Vidala's kicked outside the 22 and they come back. Well, they might have them rattled here, Daniel Musa. The home side, if they can keep the pressure wound up. You might see a change in that scoreboard. Roberts goes quick. Sullivan's been the go-to guy. He loses it. Petrovic runs strongly. Brought down by Neville.
A real speculator from Petrovic here, wasn't it? Just threw it and hoped that someone would gather it.
Well, unfortunate for Hong Kong. Real opportunity back there on the 22 to take the ball and make the most of it.
Continue like this. Okay? Continue. Squeezing him down.
Quietly, the clock moves through the third quarter as we get ready to come down to the final 20 minutes of game number 2. A good little atmosphere building on the sidelines in this match. 10-3, Hong Kong leading Chile. And it feels a lot closer than it looks. Gadu Lee now playing in Japan. Penalty. Thomas Lambolet
Left prop.
foxing with the French referee, which is probably the benefit of having a Frenchman on the side.
Post.
Enzowiski comes through and points at the sticks as Ben Roberts looks on.
Red 6. Red 6
The
substitution.
Cricket Club hooker.
Yeah, penalties, yeah.
Been throwing well tonight by G. He's been scrumming like a demon as well.
Number 6 red.
He's Mr.
substitution.
Allowable, Ben Roberts, isn't he? You know, he beat him mortgaging him, hitting the line outs, and he knows how to scrummage. He's a very reliable player for Hong Kong. But we've seen, you know, a mistake from Carl Sullivan at line out there, and it's another unforced error from Hong Kong. And here we have Chile in the Hong Kong half and looking to make it 10-6, and you know they'll get the wind in the sails and they'll get a taste for it, and they'll fight and fight and fight. And Hong Kong must tighten up the mistakes here.
Enzowiski. Enzowiski's kick. 40 out. It's a tough one. Takes his time. Here's the strike. Oh, gee, look good off the boot. Oh, my word. There was plenty on that. He could have gone back another 10 metres. Enzowiski makes it 7 from 9 across the tournament, and he makes it 10-6 on the board. It's a 4-point ball game. We've got roughly 20 minutes left to play. It's Hong Kong leading Chile in game number 4. 10-6 of the Regal Hotels Cup of Nations hood. Restarts taken in the 22. It's a tight angle for the halfback Saavedra to deal with.
Hold.
Neville dishes it out the short side. Lee back in position. Finds Roberts. Roberts lines up the inside defence. Hammers it again. Lee, Neville, ball back on the inside. Barlow, great hands from the front row forward. Bucco, that's a great run by Kane Bucco.
By the feet, round.
Lee, Rogers, Cunningham, always willing. He has a motor that just keeps on running. James Cunningham Now Purvis. Finally Sam Purvis gets the ball and takes it up. They're just boxing around this halfway line at the moment, looking for a crack, and there's nothing really happening for Hong Kong out there. And that comes down to just being well organised, tough, hard-no defence from Chile.
Yeah, it's one-off runners, isn't it, from Hong Kong there? You know, sending the front row up. Barlow there was you know, the run around, and Chile will line that up all day. We've seen defence. If Hong Kong just persist, if one-off runners off a ruck, so Chile will put two in the tackle, and they'll smash them back and they'll lap it up. So, you know, Hong Kong to shift the ball, maybe one out, have a runner one out, and put the ball through the hands once, just to find some gaps and get over that gain line.
So checking out of the game, Kane Bako, Ben Roberts, they've toiled away hard today, and into the action comes the black eye of Dane Jans. He'll be carrying that like a badge of honour. He's a fairly productive hooker too when he gets going, Dane Jans.
Yeah, I think the black eye maybe trying to balance up the feminine haircut he's sporting these days.
Well, he was asked about a male model agency earlier in the day. They haven't returned the call.
No, he's recently spotted with a top knot of all things. I don't think top knots are allowed in the front row, are they?
Well, not very pretty up front. Referee Belay.
Jose Tomas Melita, the tight head there from Chile, letting Dan Barlow know he was there. The old pat in the back and the scrub of the head afterwards. Friendly hello.
No, shot on the Hong Kong bench. Jack Parfitt, the mouth guard over the ear, which is the international symbol of I'm done. As far as front rows are concerned. Chile put in on and about the halfway. 15 in from the far touch. Soto. Safida. Run from number 5, Mayol. Does some hard work in place. Ball drifted forward in the transfer from Videla. And the game just sort of skipping around the well at the moment. No one really willing to put the bucket in.
Yeah, I think Chile were close to a momentum swing there from Chile, building some phases for the first time this half and getting some holes. So, like you say, it's a real arm wrestle at the minute. We just need the momentum to sway one way or the other.
Coming down to the final 15 minutes. 4 points the lead for Hong Kong. There's the crowd here on a Tuesday evening. Hugh Watkins up the back there in the centre, leading all the coaching development of the referees. He'll be watching with a keen eye. Lee, they milk a few more minutes, a few more moments. It's going to be a situation when we come out the other side of this game fog, Musa, I expect the shots are going to start flying left, right and centre.
Yeah, it's heading that way. You can feel it brimming. It's tense in the pitch. The scrums are getting a bit tenser. It's definitely a bit of something building up, isn't it, Jed?
Now what we've got to do, while we've got your attention, ladies and gentlemen, is to wish our old mate Sean Brown a very happy birthday. Unable to join us here in Hong Kong for the Cup of Nations. It's the first time he's been away, really, I think. Undoubtedly, he's got his Hong Kong uniform on tonight. Shawnee, we love you. We miss you, brother. Happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday, Shawnee. Hope you're having a great day.
So, penalty to Chile. And they go straight to the fullback, and the fullback goes straight to the poles. And this is going to be an all-important kick. 65 minutes gone. Thomas in his whiskey. He's 7 kicks from 9 across the tournament.
Yeah, and the breeze has picked up here, Jed. He's got the wind at his back, and it will certainly help his kicking his way if he can get the direction. So It's a real swing there at scrum time. Chile have made the changes in the front row and it's paid dividends, and they managed to make a couple of penalties. So perhaps it is a case of a referee trying to even things up here a little bit.
2 for 2 in this match. He's 7 for 9 across the tournament. Very competent fullback. He's got the big boot at fullback as well.
He's got the damn bigger shuffle there as well, hasn't he?
Niezwiecki's kick is away, certainly there, or maybe just might have died on length as well, in fact. And Hong Kong remained 4 points ahead. There would have been a few hearts in the mouths of the Hong Kong players when they saw that come off the tee. Matthew Rosley checks into the game. And the restart moved into midfield. Chile. Niezwiecki. He gets the ball away. 12. Lorena's turned over. Ramage. Ball in hand. Young Marcus Ramage. Does well. Lee. Barlow. Cunningham. Cunningham still holds on to the ball. Lee finds Hood. Hood spits. McClay almost in the way. Spits still somehow on his feet. Oh, weird. It's hard to knock over, isn't he, for a little man? Oh, great flat ball, and that might be a penalty. It is, in fact, and it's one of those crazy situations.
I think that's a bit unlucky there, Jed, potentially. I mean, Matt Lammy had no choice to jump for that ball. It wasn't a malicious tackle or anything like that. It was just pretty inconspicuous.
Well, the IM replay shows that Rosley throws it up there, and Matt Lamming was in the air, and unfortunately they picked out a front row forward, and there's only one weakness in a front row forward. It's the ability to look up.
There's no weakness in the front row forward, Jed, you should know that.
Well, it's a deficiency more than a weakness.
I think it's worth mentioning Jared Cunningham, mate. He's been out there carrying away hard this half for Hong Kong. He's been pretty industrious. He's doing the dirty work of a second rower, and he's really working hard for Hong Kong and making a lot of yards, getting them on the front foot.
He certainly is. He's a tireless performer up front, is Cunningham. Matt Rosley stepping in to take the kicks now. Rosley's kick is up and away and straight down the throat. Matt Rosley adds 3. And it's back to a 7-point buffer. The blood will start circulating again now. Only 11 or 12 minutes out from the end of the game. An important time to score. Daniel Musa.
Yeah, great nudge by Matt Rosley, but you can't help but feel a bit hard done by for Chile. They'll feel a bit frustrated there because as I say, it was a pretty inconspicuous challenge, but Rosley capitalises in Hong Kong to get the 3 points.
So the exit play for Hong Kong. Pretty smoothly executed. Chile, they still have a good
Red 4, substitution, red 4.
Good position in terms of real estate. Adrian Griffiths checks in. Some changes made for Chile as well.
Wait.
Eddie Griffiths trying to disrupt there's no one around Hong Kong for being loud in the lineouts.
Taken in the end by Mike Coverdale, and he clears a few yards out of them straight up the guts. It's great play from the reserve. Rosley onto the right foot, and he cuts off a big piece of cake for his forward pack as he sends Hong Kong down into the corner and sends, more importantly, Chile back into their own red zone.
Yeah, absolutely. The bench from Hong Kong here having a real impact. Eddie Griffiths doing enough to disrupt that line out and win the ball back. Coverdale turns it over well, and Matt Rosley drilled him right into the Chilean territory, and Hong Kong here can disrupt, can harry this line out, and work hard in defence, and try and force a penalty or a turnover.
So Chile overthrow it. The wheels might be coming off the cart now as Matt Lamming powers on. They're over the top of him and he's not held, and he goes again. The penalty comes up for Chile. Maybe they might just have been a bit overzealous. Truck and trailer was the call.
Yeah, poor old Dan Barlow there, didn't see him coming today, so a bit unfortunate, but it's great work for Matt Lamming. You know, not held, he's back on his feet, he's working hard, and he's fighting for every single yard. And Hong Kong need that right now.
Just wait a second, boys. Just wait a second.
Inside the final 10 minutes, the Regal Hotels Cup of Nations
Put the feet on my tongue.
2017, the third edition
Time off. Yeah, time is
of
off.
the Cup of Nations here, and it looks like the referee might have had a blowout. Just quietly.
It's okay, just a bit.
It's the referee, he's
That's
Holding
all.
his toe.
pointing to the foot region as some hydration is immediately taken on board, and
Just 1 second.
well,
Guys, okay.
Dylan Rogers and
Yeah, that's
Kadoli
us. Yeah,
and
that's
enjoying
us.
this one. A
Ready,
wry
go,
smile on the
boys.
face of
That's
Dylan
us.
Rogers there.
well, I mean, potentially the referee suffered there with a
It's
type
just
5
it's
foot
okay.
that stood on his foot, perhaps. Let's have a look as Matt Lamming on the IM replay, and he goes. Rogers gets over the top of him, then he goes again, and it was Barlow, in fact. Yep. He's taken and stomped from one of the big forwards. And,
Perhaps an advert there, Jed, to bring back the old school steel toe caps.
well, there's never been a referee made that's really been able to take one on the foot.
Wait.
They can take a bit on the nose, they can take a fair bit around the ears, but if you go to the toes, they start dancing around. There's the throw, and it's disrupted by Lamberley, and it's messy stuff for Chile, and lost forward is the call. It's just not going exactly to plan for Chile at the moment. They're not exactly out of it by no means. They could sweep down the field and take a 7-pointer and bring us back towards even. We've seen it before. We saw it on Friday when Hong Kong pulled up level to the bumper with Russia at 13 all. We thought it was going to be on for all money. And then the drop goal, or the final penalty, saw Russia put Hong Kong away by 3 points. This game is just as thrilling.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a swing momentum here towards the Hong Kong side. They've upped the tempo, they've upped the intensity, and it's paying dividends at the minute for Hong Kong.
Lee feeds the scrum. They wind it up, Hong Kong. They keep winding it. Lamberley beautifully, skillfully,
The arm up with the penalty.
sensationally. Lee on. McClay. Kaduli. Around the neck is the call. He's not signalling the neck roll, but certainly a high shot. And the opportunity here. It was terrific work by Thomas Lamberley, wasn't it?
Yeah, great work from Thomas Lamberley and Kadoli straight out the blindsman alley. And you know, again, he's an exciting player. Kadoli just wants to get his hands on the ball and have a crack when he can. And you know, himself, Matt Rosley, Mike Coverdale, they'll all come off the bench and really raise the intensity of Hong Kong, and it's turning the game in their favour.
He's the quintessential fire starter, isn't he? Lee, there's no doubt about it. He can really get things done, this kid. 4 from 4 in this tournament. And Rosley batting 1,000 so far. Crucial kick for Rosley, and he comes, and away it goes, and oh, you aim small, you miss small. Those are the rules. Just inside the upright, Matt Rosley with an opportunity there to put a nail firmly in the coffin of Chile. But Chile live again, and now they have the ball. Could we see a finisher? Finishes, who knows, as Barlow comes up and absolutely storms the fort. Dan Barlow's not going to die wondering. Ball let go, the ball lost. The original knock on will go back. It'll be a restart. The advantage going to Chile as Burley calls the ball off Dan Musa.
Yeah, Big Eddie Griffiths has come on, isn't he, off a bench. He's had an impact. He's disrupted the lineouts. He's been putting hits in defence. He's got his arm in there. He's really come on and lifted the Hong Kong forward pack. Chile are slowly running out of time here. And Hong Kong are just turning the screw. But I think they'll look to get another try here, won't they, Hong Kong? End the match in a high, leads into a good week of training ahead of Kenya on Saturday.
Crouch. Fine. Set.
Chile from in front of their own quarter. Soto has to peel it off. He's under all sorts of pressure. Hong Kong fan out now and accept all runners. Drive forward from Burgener. McClay slips the first one, takes on the first two.
No, red. Yes, no, 20.
Ball is there for Lee. He organises the welcome committee. Barlow carries. You'll see a lot of Barlow carrying. He loves the ball in hand. Look at that. Counter ruck coming in
Stay on your feet.
from
Stay on your feet.
Chile, and they've decided they're going to bash the doors down and come striding through if they have to. But the only problem is it's illegal.
It's never say die from Chile, is it? And it's good to see, you know, competing to the end and fighting for the scraps and just trying to get something while we're down there in the Hong Kong half. But Matt Rosley's got a monster boot here and it could punish him.
Matt Rosley fires one in and he sends Chile back into their own half. $13 points to 6. Griffiths takes it. And the referee wants to bring them back for a restart, so the ambition of playing the ball at a bit of pace
First player.
closed down by the referee. And they go down the back, they find Lamberley. Nice throw from Jans. They set up the maul head. Let them roll it out nicely. Now they need to drive forward, and they do. They've got it under control well, Hong Kong. They storm it forward. They've just got to keep it. They've got the almost the lion dances. Looks like Rogers peeled off to go forward there. And referee Belay, I think he might have blown up for a penalty. I get a funny feeling he might put the hand where you don't want it to go. He does put it there, and he whistles out his credentials. Yellow card, the second one of the day for Chile.
He's not been shy of a yellow card, the ref, has he? But fair play to him. He's trying to keep the game flowing, and he's trying to, you know, eradicate the foul play. So he's not in a bad game, the referee, has he?
Red on the line. Red on the line.
The comment from some of the Chilean fans that there's only one Chinaman out on the Hong Kong national team is an interesting one, considering I don't see any native South Americans on the Chilean side at all, not even in the reserves.
And we are sat by the reserves bench, so fairly good view there, Jed.
Probably a good opportunity for the Chilean fans to get to know their own side. So only a couple of minutes left.
So Jose Tomas Melita looks like his day's done. The Chilean tight head. He had a good game, to be fair. He scrummed well tight head and he came across that loose head and jamming it off and showed up that Chilean scrum.
So he's balled while Lamberley, terrific work. Lee tidies up, get him on the ground. He's done very, very well, Lee, there to keep the ball away, and they milk another penalty from Chile. So an opportunity, I would imagine, maybe even to drop a scrum. It's coming inside the final 60 seconds. Rosley puts it in the corner again.
Yeah, it's the last action. Last action.
So there it is. They go down the back. They find Lamberley. Now they lock it up. Good, strong looking ball head. This could be the final say by Hong Kong. Through the line they go. Referee Belay, I don't think he can see anything in there. It comes up. There'll be no decision really made out of this. Chile did well to get around the ball and isolate it. Matt Rodden says he didn't see anything. As he blows time off, and at the end of 80 minutes, it's game over. The referee, Maxine Belay, sends the teams to no side as Hong Kong pick up their first win of the Regal Hotels 2017 Cup of Nations. What an effort, what a toil it was. Hong Kong again involved in an absolute war. 13-6 they win over Chile. That's the final score for Hong Kong. What an effort it took. Yellow cards dished out to both teams. Chile took 2 yellow cards. Hong Kong took 1, and Hong Kong managed to make the most of the advantage they had. Time now to check out the IM replay highlights package as we watch the opening chip and chase play. Here's a start a lot in the second half, did Ian Zawiski. In particular, this kick, what a remarkable kick it was, under pressure. He needed to come through for his team, and he did, as he sent it away. Lee came into the action, some changes were made, and that penalty resulted in Matt Rosley stepping up, and he put Hong Kong even further into the lead. And then there was some hope that they might go even further than that. The scrum for Hong Kong, well, look at this sensational work from Thomas Lamberley. And when Lee went to ground, there was no more scoring opportunities left in the game, as Hong Kong applaud a very tough, very hard Chilean Condors side from the field, and they can be extremely happy, Hong Kong, with the results from that particular test match. Game 4 of the Cup of Nations goes to the record books as a win to the home side. And it's still, it was a tough one. Plenty of bodies got bruised up during that as the fans walk across the field. And we go down now to Daniel Musa, who's standing with the victorious coaching member, Andrew Hall.
That's right, Jed. I'm here with Andy Hall, the Hong Kong coach. Holly, first of all, congrats. Great to get the win there. Crucial after the Russia game. But other than your set piece, perhaps not quite as a complete performance as you had against Russia.
No, I think that's fair. That's fair. The elements of the game we were really pleased with, and taking nothing away from Chile, they're a really good side, a nuggety side that keep going. So yeah, there are aspects of a game that we weren't particularly happy with, controlling this area of the field for one, the middle third. But look, you know, they're a good side, so that's a damn good win for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Big few days now. You obviously got Kenya on Saturday. You've got a great history of playing Kenya. We know how dangerous it can be. And what's the plan now for Hong Kong leading to that Hong Kong game? The Kenya game. What's the real work on for this Saturday? And what areas do you like to try and tighten up and just make sure you get that win on Saturday?
Yeah, the danger, of course, now leading into that really important game is to maybe try and tick too many boxes. For us now, it's about ensuring that everyone after this game is fit and healthy, and perhaps resisting trying to do too much. Just get everyone's energy tanks back up to full, so we can check everything we've got at the Kenyans. Good
to hear. In general, Holly, must been a good week. Good to have the guys in camp and get some real good quality time with our Premiership players.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the pinnacle for them, and to have internationals on a November's, it's fantastic. It's great.
All the best for Kenya, and congrats again, Holly.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Andrew Hall, very, very happy. The Hong Kong side, 1 loss, 1 win. It was a good, tough win for Hong Kong tonight. They had to grind it out, almost carve it out of stone, and they just about had to. And that is the end of play for the day. There it is, the final score on the Regal Hotels Cup of Nations. Game 4, Hong Kong 13, Chile 6. That's the final score. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this evening. And please join us again on the 18th as we come to you again live and direct from the Hong Kong Football Club and the 2017 Regal Hotels Cup of Nations. On behalf of Daniel Musa, this is Jed Thyan, wishing you a pleasant evening.